Most business owners don't have a traffic problem, they have a trust problem. And I don't mean trust like people don't like you. I mean trust like strangers don't know if you're worth their time, attention, and money yet. That's the real bottleneck. I've been building back-end systems for businesses long enough to tell you something most people won't admit. The sale rarely fails at the close, it fails at the entrance. Because most businesses open the conversation by asking for commitment before earning context. They ask people to buy before people understand why. This is where attraction offers come in. And specifically, what I want to talk about today is one of the most misunderstood and most powerful attraction offers there is, the decoy offer. Now, this idea isn't new. In $100 million money models, Alex Hormozi talks about attraction offers, ways businesses lead with value to pull the right people in instead of chasing them down. The book didn't invent the pattern, it named it. What I want to do is show you how this actually plays out in the real world and why, in this new era, the decoy offer is less about the offer itself and more about the structure behind it. Let me paint a scenario. You're a business owner. You know your service works. You know you get results. You've helped real people. You fix real problems. But every time you go to market, you feel friction. Ads don't convert the way you expect. DM turns into long conversations that go nowhere. Discovery calls feel like you're explaining yourself over and over again. So you do what most people do. You explain more, you add more detail, you try to educate harder, and the resistance doesn't go away. Here's why. You're trying to sell certainty to someone who doesn't yet trust the diagnosis. That's backwards. The decoy offer flips that dynamic. Instead of saying, here's my premium solution, you say, let me show you what's really going on first. The decoy offer is not a discount, it's not free work, and it's definitely not charity. It's a positioning move. It's designed to do one thing extremely well, create contrast. Because when contrast is clear, decisions get easier. Here's the mistake most people make. They think the decoy offer is the product. It's not. The decoy offer is a lens. It allows the prospect to see what they thought the problem was, what the problem actually is, and why the premium solution suddenly makes sense without you pushing. That's the key. A good decoy offer doesn't convince, it reveals. Let's make this concrete. Imagine you run a service business. Instead of leading with, here's my full implementation package, you lead with something smaller, contained, and diagnostic, an audit, a map, a teardown, a blueprint. Not to give everything away, but to reframe the problem correctly. When done right, the decoy offer does three things simultaneously. First, it attracts the right people, because only someone who actually has the problem will raise their hand. Second, it fills out the wrong people. The ones looking for shortcuts, freebies, low-hanging fruit, they disappear quietly. And third, this is the most important part. It shifts authority. You're no longer the person asking for the sale. You're the person explaining the solution, the situation. That's a very different posture. Now, here's where most decoy offers fail. People stop at the offer. They create the audit, they create the assessment, they create the free or low-cost entry point, and then nothing is connected. No follow-up logic, no segmentation, no decision path. So the decoy becomes a dead end. This is where structure matters. The decoy offer only works if it's part of a system. It needs a clear next step, a defined escalation path, and a reason the premium offer exists. The decoy is not meant to stand alone. It's meant to make the premium inevitable. And this is where AI and automation quietly changes the game. not by replacing sales, but by removing friction. Because now the right people can be identified automatically. Follow up doesn't depend on memory or mood, and the handoff from insight to offer is clean. The decoy offer becomes scalable, not because it's louder, but because it's structured. Here's the real shift I want you to catch. In the past, decoy offers were labor intensive. They required time, attention, and manual follow up. Today, the bottleneck isn't effort, it's design. If the decoy doesn't lead somewhere on purpose, it fails. If it does, it becomes one of the most efficient ways to turn strangers into qualified conversations. That's why this play matters right now. Not because it's clever, because it replaces how people actually decide. People don't want to be sold, they want to understand. And once they understand, the right decision usually becomes obvious. That's the power of a decoy offer done correctly. So if you've been feeling like you're explaining yourself too much, your offer makes sense to you but not to the market, or you're spending energy convincing instead of guiding, this isn't a messaging problem. It's an entry point problem, and it's fixable. If you want to see how decoy offers will look like in your business, what the right decoy is, what it should lead to, and how to structure it so it actually convert, let's talk. DM me the words money map. Not to get pitched, not to get sold, but to map the right attraction offer for where your business is right now and build something that pulls the right people in instead of chasing them down. Because in this next phase, the businesses that win won't be loud, they'll be clearer. And clarity is the real advantage.